My grandson is real into space, planets, all that. Boy can tell you the name of every moon around Jupiter. Don't ask me how he remember all that. But he was explaining something to me a few weeks back about gravity, about how a planet get caught orbiting something, and it struck me so hard I had to sit down and write some of it out. He told me, a planet don't orbit a star 'cause it's stuck. Exactly. It orbit 'cause two forces fighting each other at the same time. The pull of the star's gravity, dragging it in, and the planet's own forward motion, trying to fly off in a straight line, away from all that pulling. And when them two forces balance out just right, the planet don't crash into the star, and it don't fly off into open space neither. It just circle, around and around, forever, unless something big enough come along to break that balance. And baby, that's the best explanation I ever heard for why people stay in toxic relationships. And I ain't even mean for it to be about that when my grandson first started talking. See, a toxic relationship got its own gravity, real measurable pull. Some of it made out of good memories, the early days, the version of that person you fell for, still orbiting around somewhere in your mind, exerting a pull even years after the relationship turned dark. Some of it made out of fear, fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of what people gonna say. Some of it made out of hope, hope that this time really will be different. Hope so strong it act like its own gravitational field, bending your whole trajectory around it, even when the evidence say otherwise. And here's what my grandson's little space lesson helped me understand. A person caught in orbit around something toxic ain't just sitting there, passive, doing nothing. They working. They putting out real effort, that forward motion, that part of them still trying to break free, still reaching for a life outside that pull. But if the pull is strong enough, all that effort just turn into another loop around the same center, instead of an actual escape. You can be moving, working real hard, and still end up right back where you started. 'Cause moving ain't the same as escaping if the gravity underneath you is strong enough to bend your path back around every time. Now, my grandson also told me something about what it takes for something to actually break free of an orbit like that. He called it escape velocity. Said every object caught in an orbit got a specific speed it got to reach, a specific amount of force it got to generate before it can finally break clean away from whatever's pulling on it. Too slow, and you just keep circling, no matter how long you try. Reach that speed, though, and the same gravity that had you locked in a loop for years suddenly can't hold you no more, and you free, moving in your own direction at last. And I believe that's the real, honest reason so many people never leave toxic relationships, even good, smart, strong people. It ain't 'cause they weak. It ain't 'cause they don't want out. It's 'cause they trying to escape using the same amount of effort they always used, the same half-hearted attempts, the same one foot out the door while the other foot still planted in the pull. And that level of effort just ain't enough to reach escape velocity. It keep 'em looping, exhausted, further and further behind on their own life, believing all that circling proves they tried, without ever quite generating the specific, concentrated force required to actually break the pull for good. What generate that force, from what I've watched over the years? Usually it's one of a few things. Sometime it's hitting a bottom so painful, the fear of staying finally outweigh the fear of leaving, all at once, all together, enough to create real velocity instead of just another slow loop. Sometimes it's a support system, people around you adding their own force to yours, helping you generate more push than you could build up alone. Sometimes it's a single, clear moment of truth, seeing the situation plain, without the fog of hope or nostalgia bending your view of it no more. But here's what my grandson's lesson made real clear to me, and I want you to hear this part especially. Escape velocity ain't about trying harder in the same way you already been trying. It's about generating a different kind of force altogether. A person who keep leaving and going back, ain't failing 'cause they weak. They failing 'cause they using the same half measure every single time. And half a measure against a strong enough gravity just produce another orbit, dressed up to look like progress. So if you out there right now, caught circling something that's pulling you down, I want you to ask yourself, honest, am I actually building toward escape velocity, or am I just making another lap around the same old pull, calling it progress, 'cause at least I'm moving? Real freedom, from what I've seen, don't usually come gentle or gradual in situations like this. It come from a real concentrated push, bigger than you've allowed yourself to generate before. Maybe with help from people who love you, maybe from finally seeing the whole shape of the orbit you've been circling in. But once you build up enough of it, that same gravity that held you for years, quiet as it come, it just lose its grip, and you free, moving your own direction, for the first time in longer than you probably even remember. My grandson still don't know his little space lesson turned into all this in my head. I might tell him one day, when he's a little older, that Grandma took his moon facts and built a whole sermon out of them. Wherever you circling right now, I hope you find your escape velocity. Go build it.